took what I want, but you find that everything they've got, you step forwards to my shadow, you are follow in my pattern.
Hello, and welcome to the Ladies' Room. Today, it is my pleasure to have my friend Geralyne Lewandowski here, who was my partner in crime with this show for what, 10 years or so. And Geralyne every year puts together a show called ArtGroove, which is, 26 artists you have this year, 30 artists?
No, actually only 18 this year.
Oh, okay.
Although sometimes we do expand it for
Yeah.
our charity.
That's true, you do that big
Part
charity.
of it, right.
Yeah.
This year we've kind of pared that down a little bit.
That's just going to be in the little room and on Sunday.
Yes.
But the opening is April 20th?
Yes, so, Art Groove's like a really high energy art exhibit, and it has, the things change every year. We have, you can see some of the past Art Grooves coming up here. This is William Falkenberg playing piano. He might play on Sunday this year. And these are just other people. This is sort of like what the room looks like, the big room, and people looking at the art. That's Michael Cartacino's piece. This is people dancing later, because we have a musical section at the later on Saturday night. And here's Myers and Deanne having a great time. I think this is the first time they ever came to ArtGroove. Most people who come, they definitely want to come back. So
Yeah, it's at Ashawagh Hall, and it is a great dance party in the end. We have a lot of fun.
Yeah. That's where the people get to do their creativity, right? All the people who are the people participating in terms of looking at the art, they actually get to then express themselves through their dancing. But is the way I see it. So
Yeah. And today we have three guests that are all in the show. Frank Latorre, that has a rock group called the King Bees. Is it a blues group, or you got a Grammy for blues? But that's
Blues rock, yeah.
It's blues rock.
Yeah.
So fantastic. So we have Frank Latorre, we have Donna Corvi, and our lovely Joyce Raimondo.
Hi, Judy.
So Joyce, you're doing a new series of paintings where you're putting words in the paintings. What inspired you to do that?
I want the paintings to be uplifting, so they're simple words like focus and fun and flow and fluid. But at the same time, the words are embedded into graphic design, so they're not easily readable. And so you might say it's like a whimsical visual puzzle
Yeah.
where images and words come in and out, and it kind of plays with your perception, which is a key idea that I'm interested in.
And you're always, your work is always so colorful. Do you still work with the Jackson Pollock Foundation?
I work with the Pollock Krasna House and Study Center as the education coordinator, and I really do believe that art is joy. And even when one is expressing grief or really difficult subjects, art elevates, it uplifts. So all the programs at the Pollock House also follow that core value that art is designed to elevate the human experience.
And when did you first start doing art?
I started doing art when I was 4 years old. I made a paint by number of a ballerina, and my parents were very encouraging from that day, I recall. I still have a very keen memory, and I always knew I was an artist.
Ah, that's so wonderful. I know you worked with like 700 kids at a time at schools doing
Yes, I did.
giant murals. Boy, COVID changed everything, didn't it?
Yes, I did work for 20 years in the schools as a visiting author
Yeah.
and artist, and that came to a screeching halt with COVID when I started doing Zoom programs,
Yeah.
and now I do virtual programs. Last year I did 240 Zoom programs
Wow.
through the Pollock House, mainly geared to an adult audience. So people can go to pkhouse.org to learn more about that.
And you have several books out.
I do. I have 7 books all geared to children, and the core value of the book is to teach creativity by using the world's great artists for inspiration.
Yay.
So,
That sounds so
yeah,
wonderful.
fun.
So Donna, you're new to the group.
I am. I'm happy to be invited to ArtGroove.
What kind of work do you do?
So I paint using acrylics, but my themes are pretty much trees.
Trees. Oh,
Trees.
great.
there's
Yes.
some of her work.
Oh, beautiful. So, yeah, they're planting more trees everywhere, thank goodness.
We need them.
We need them.
It's a big diversion because the first 18 years of my career, I was a New York City illustrator and I did airbrush work. And then as things were becoming more digital, that wasn't me. So I made the switch to fine art painting. But trees. yeah.
Trees are beautiful already, you don't have to airbrush them.
Right.
They don't care if they look skinny or fat. So, great to have you. How long have you been here on the East End?
Let's see, about 25 years, but only living full-time here the past 2 years.
Well, welcome.
Yeah. No,
Great to have you
it's-
part of the group.
It's great.
It's a fun evening.
It's a fun evening, and I remember the last one, my granddaughter, who's 2, came, and she was in awe, and she wanted to go to see every painting, and she would point, and then she'd point to the next one and the next one. So it's
Do we
true.
have a budding,
Kids
do
love
we have a
art.
budding artist?
Yeah, for sure.
Do you paint with her when she comes on weekends and stuff?
Yeah, she lives in Denver, but yes,
Oh,
she has all the things Grandma sends her, paints, crayons, yeah.
Great, you can paint together over Zoom.
Yep.
Zoom changes
True.
everything, right? Boy, I bought some of the stock. Stock's not doing that well. Stock's not doing that well. And so I forget where I read it or saw it, but someone was saying, what happened to Skype? They were the first
They were.
ones, right? And they blew it somehow. So Frank Latorre, you're on the hot seat now. Tell us everything.
Start with some, what do you want to know?
What kind of art do you do, Frank?
It's hard to pinpoint that.
Okay, so you're all
We
over
have
the
some of
place.
Frank's slides. I don't know if they could put up.
Oh,
Here we
don't
go.
you?
Here's
Didn't I
here's some
see
of
you?
his work.
Did-
Yes,
oh,
look.
Wow,
This is
that
wonderful.
is,
Look at it.
that,
It's
that, is that a
beautiful.
photograph or a painting?
It's a painting.
That is so beautiful, the light that you captured and the motion, that looks unbelievable. But don't you, celebrity heads, is that Sophia Loren?
No, that's
No,
Amy
it's
Winehouse.
Oh, that's Amy Winehouse, okay. Oh, because you're a rock musician, so
Oh, I guess that's.
is that
Yeah.
Jimmy
Janis
Morrison?
Joplin.
Yeah,
Uh,
Janis
Janis
Joplin.
Joplin?
It's called the 27 Club.
Yeah, that's right. 27. Interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
This is.
That's one of the newer pieces.
Uh-huh.
I love
interesting.
Frank's newer work. It's so
getting
loose and
abstract,
free. It's
yeah.
beautiful.
Wonderful. What made you go it from like doing portraits and stuff to abstract?
I've done all different types.
All kinds of stuff.
I was a glass artist, sandblast glass artist for like 20 years. I was an airbrush artist for like 20 years.
Uh-huh.
I learned to paint with an airbrush.
Oh, that's interesting. Is it easy to control or not so easy to control?
It's like Reiki.
Like it.
Okay?
A little.
'Cause you're not touching the surface.
Uh-huh.
So when I opened a gallery in Eastport, I had an Art and Soul gallery.
Is it still there?
No, it's not there anymore.
Okay.
I closed the doors, but now I work from a home studio. But I taught myself to paint with a brush,
Uh-huh.
and it was kind of like having an excavating tool in my hand. That brush, you never really touching the surface, ever.
With a brush? No, the airbrush.
Airbrush.
Yeah.
You're not
Right,
touching
so all of a sudden you're,
gliding over.
all of a sudden you got real.
So I haven't airbrushed really in a very long time,
Uh-huh.
and I loved it, and that's, I did very tight work with the friskets and the stencils and things, we have to hand cut your own,
Uh-huh.
to get certain effects, and then I totally morphed out of that with the airbrush and just did everything freehand. And I did that for a little while, but I was doing photoreal type work. And if I did a show, or was part of a show, people would look at it and just kind of like walk by because
Because they thought it was a
they
photograph?
thought they were photographs.
Wow.
Amazing.
So when I got the gallery, and also to show your work with airbrush, they go, oh, it's airbrush. They kind of look down on that art for some reason, which
Yeah.
I don't understand. But so that was frustrating. So I picked up a brush,
Huh.
and the airbrush taught me a lot about shading or any, I mean, everybody should, any artist should try it because, the flow that you can get with it is just unbelievable. But, so anyway, I went from airbrush to now I'm just gonna paint with a brush, so
And what's your favorite medium?
it depends on what I have to do.
Depends on your mood.
Well, Frank just finished a mural that he was
Where is the
commissioned to
mural?
do.
I did it at an Italian restaurant. A guy I did a restaurant for about 15 years ago called me. And it was a smaller one, it was 48 feet by.
48
That's-
feet is
yeah,
small.
that's small.
Yeah, but for walls, I've done 80 foot, and you
Wow.
Wow.
have as well. And that's, one day I'm doing something very tight and very intense, and then
You're all over
when
the
you get
place.
to the wall, it's
Yeah.
just, I call it kill the white. You gotta kill the white on the wall.
Right.
So I had
Color it
a
up.
couple of people working with me, I said, see that little spot up there, kill the white.
Did you ever do a mural that big, Joyce, in the schools?
We've done, yeah, we.
You did
we-
whole giant walls in
Yeah,
schools.
and I'm saying we because, yeah, it takes a team.
Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely, yes.
Yeah.
Because once you have the color up there, then you also have to rework it and layer it. And you want it to be perfect because it's in somebody's public space also.
right.
So,
Ah,
but it's fun.
It's rewarding and it could haunt you also, because it's always on a job that big and dependent on your budget
yeah,
also.
yeah.
You're not allowed to put what they wanted to pay, like under your name on there, so you try to get a good representation of who you are and make them happy and have something that you can be proud of,
Right.
for when you're done. But I just recently finished one, and I haven't done one in a long time, except for West Hampton Care Center.
Oh, that's
I
lovely.
did a mural in there in the Alzheimer's section, I guess,
Oh.
they called it. And I made it look like they live in there, the individuals live in
Uh-huh.
this little,
It must really brighten their day.
yeah, so I made it look like all different shops, like on the street. So there's an art gallery, and I did the Mona Lisa, Van Gogh, Starry Nights, and American Gothic,
Fun.
like on easels in a window. And then the
That's
next one was
great.
a hardware store, and a bakery, a dress shop, a pet store, and an ice cream parlor.
Wow.
It's really great.
Did they put a little table and chairs in front of the ice cream parlor and let people sit there and have ice
When
cream?
they come out, they would be like, "Oh, I want to buy that dress."
How
or-
much is that puppy in the window?
Yeah,
That
but,
is so wonderful.
I
All on a
really-
budget
I
of
really enjoyed doing
$200.
that. Well, no, it was a little more than that, but thank God, but that was rewarding. And, I
Yeah.
love the people.
That's
you know.
amazing because that just proves like art's value in society. Like
Yeah.
you can't have a society without art.
No, you can't.
Absolutely
You need
not.
the creative arts for
I
sure.
mean, you teach people to see new things. I mean, even a picture of their own house takes new meaning. They're seeing
Uh-huh.
it from a different perspective.
Yeah.
The last one I did was like a scene from like Montauk to and then West Hampton, like.
Oh, okay, the
figure
Hamptons,
that.
yeah.
So this one lady would come out every day, and she was wheelchair bound. And she would tell me about, her time in Ireland and that when her uncle they used to go fishing, and she said, "You gotta get a salmon, you gotta get a salmon." So she came one day and I painted a guy in the water pulling in
Oh,
a
great.
fish. I said,
There's your
"There's your
salmon.
uncle with the
I hope she
salmon."
didn't try to eat it.
And,
That's really nice.
yeah,
That's great.
so it was, that's a lot of fun to do.
Oh, and it is so
Now that I'm
rewarding.
getting old, now that I'm old, I'll be 70 in July.
Oh,
And,
God bless you.
to get up on the ladders and do everything, I hadn't done it in a while,
Yeah.
and it was like, oh boy. The first day of this last
Yeah.
restaurant that I did, I looked down the wall and I was like, I hope I could finish this, 'cause now I started it,
Yeah.
So worst comes to worst, I even thought in my head, worst comes to worst, I can go just paint the wall white again and just say, I just can't do it.
Sorry, I can't take a job.
Just the drive home, I got out of the car when I was done with that day, and I was like,
Laid on the
I
ground.
closed the fence and walked into the house, but I I felt better as I went along, and actually, I'm glad I did it. It was,
Oh, sure.
it was like going to the art gym.
And Geralyne, what about you? You're doing new body of work for this show, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm doing a series of 2 silk screens, and then well, actually 3. I hope to have them finished for the show. I'm sure some of them will be done. So they're starting a new process, which is multiple screens on one print. So even though silk screen, printing tends to be a repetitive process where you just do multiples of one, my technique makes each print completely unique. So I do
that's
smaller
great.
runs,
Uh-huh.
I think one series will have 6 and the other one will have 3. And the last one will have 3. So I'm excited about that.
I'm amazing you can get it done with all the work you do. I mean,
Well,
this
it's
is
not
a lot
done
of
yet,
work
but
putting-
it's in process,
Oh,
so.
but you always get it done. It's always such a wonderful show, and
Yeah, it's
and,
great. I love doing
great group
ArtGroove.
of artists.
It's just,
Yeah.
really my joy to put this together. And I just think everybody loves it. It's like a tradition, in the spring and springs. So, and it's so wonderful to have it in the springs, which is really the historic art, enclave of East Hampton. That's where Jackson Pollock lived, and de Kooning, and and Lee Krasner, and so many others. And we still have a very, very strong artist community. So, but I'd like to just kind of tell you who's going to be in
Oh,
the
yeah,
show, so
tell
that
us
they
who's
don't
gonna
get
be in the
upset and
show,
say
yeah.
you didn't mention my name. So we have 6 newcomers, but the total list is Barbara Bellata, Rosalind Brenner, Michael Cartacino, Donna Corvi, who's here, Jody Cuquier, who's a new person, Paul Dempsey. He has been in ArtGroove in the past, but he's been on a hiatus for a few years. Zoe Denahi, Susan Friend is also new this year. Ronnie Grill, Frank Latorre, of course, our star here,
Yay,
who
the King
you've
Bees
heard,
playing
and he's
music.
gonna play some
Yay.
great, great music Saturday night. So I really recommend you come down and hear him. Jacques LeBlanc. Seth Allo is also new this year, and of course Michael McDowell, and this is his painting back here. One of the was really highlighted last year. We were able to get a lot of press on that. Oliver Peterson's in it this year, which is going to be great. He's got some fantastic stuff, and of course Joyce Raimondo, who I think is with the only few of us have been in every single ArtGroove, and I
12 art groups now, right?
believe it's Joyce. Leave Tears, and of course, Hans van de Bovenkamp, my great friend and client. Hans is also going to be available on Sunday. We're going to be signing some books if anybody would like to get a
Great
book
books of
from
Hans's sculptures, yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's the lineup. It's Saturday, April 20th is the opening day. We open at noon and go till the police come and throw us out or something. I don't know, but
Yeah.
the party starts around 6 or 7, and then Sunday we're going to have a whole host of activities. So you should come down Sunday for a tribute to Nadine Doskaloff, who was in many ArtGrooves in the past. Unfortunately, she passed last year, and we'll be offering some of her artwork for sale, and some of the proceeds will go to 3 charities that I love. One is Ellen Hermanson, as you all know, the Ellen's Run for supporting women's breast health, and Maureen's Haven, which is the East End homeless outreach, and a new one this year is Annie Applesey Project, which is kind of promotes many paths to wellness, but it's just a great, some great causes, and it's a win-win situation.
It's a
And
win-win
that's
for
what I
the
love.
artists too, because the artists get the major part of
Oh, yeah.
the proceeds, and
Right,
have some goes to charity, and
right,
and
right, absolutely.
it's Ashawagh Hall, so the artists try to price their things a little bit less than they would be charging in a gallery, because in a gallery they only get 50%.
Right.
So
Yeah,
art group,
they do
more,
not
yeah.
pay 50% commission on this.
No.
Right, no.
So it's good for everybody.
Yep, it
And
is.
it's good fun.
It's
It's good
re-
fun.
It's really good
I
fun.
heard a quote recently about Oh, it was Paul Garsad that you
Oh.
recommended for the show, and at the end of the show, I said, it was an environmental show, and I said,
Right.
are you optimistic about the environment? He said, I'm an optimist by intention. And I said, what does that mean? And he said, well, it's hard to be an optimist, you have to work at it. And he said, but being an optimist, you have a lot more fun, and you get a lot more done, and you have a lot more fun.
Absolutely.
And I thought that was great. And I think we all, everybody has to be optimistic because we have to be part of the solution.
We do.
Yeah, yeah.
You're either part of the solution or not.
I think
So,
also,
yeah.
as you think you become, so
yes,
like with this event, bringing community together, and I know it's such a core value for Geralyne,
yeah.
because whether she's doing ArtGroove, there's so many other things Geralyne does to
Oh my
bring
God, I
people
don't know how
together.
you do it.
But people have to make the effort, right? Because if you believe in community, you make the effort to create community. You
Mhm.
can't just be passive. And it welcomes everybody. That's what
Yeah.
I love about it. It's all
Yeah.
free.
Yes.
It's a great thing Geralyne does, having these giving opportunities for these charities. And was it last year or the year before? Actually, the Montauk Artists Association was one of her
Right.
Uh-huh.
charities because it was our 25th anniversary.
Right.
And I run the Depot Gallery, and it's a
Oh, is the
not-for-profit
Depot
Right.
Gallery in Montauk?
in Montauk.
Oh.
And that was wonderful that she did that.
Where is
So
your
you do
gallery
such
in
a great
Montauk?
job.
What street?
So it's literally the
Depot.
depot at the railroad station.
Railroad
Oh,
station, yeah.
okay.
So, yep.
Yeah,
Right.
last year, we did, Charles Waller, a great friend of mine, who also was in countless art grooves.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, he
Very
passed away
talented artist, yes.
from COVID, sadly. And so we did the same thing where, his artwork, that was part of my collection. We had a beautiful show at the Latorre Gallery in Montauk, and the Montauk Artists Association got a nice little donation to help them out, because it's really what it's all about, and people, I just think when people buy a piece of artwork, they obviously have an affinity for it, and they'll cherish it, and so it just works all the way around, and
Yeah, it's wonderful when you
legacy
have
to
a
the artist.
piece of art on your wall that makes you happy every day when you look at
Yes,
it.
it
Has-
is.
Absolutely.
There's so many layers of enjoyment, and each time you see it, you see something different. So what do you see in your future? Are you staying along the same path, or do you have new ideas for the future?
Well, in my future, artistic-wise, I started to work on a series of paintings where I use computer icons
Uh-huh.
as language. Because I'm on the computer so much because of Zoom and all the work I do.
Yeah.
Fascinating.
And so I am constantly communicating through icons. So I said, why not use that in art? And
Iconic art.
iconic art. So we'll see where that goes. It's always an adventure. I feel like it's not good to get too much in your comfort zone with
Right.
art. So just to
Keep
push the
evolving,
boundary
yeah.
and go into the unknown a little bit. So I
And what
call it new
about-
directions.
Okay, cool. And what about you, Donna?
For me, it's been exciting because while I love to paint trees, and I probably will not stop that ever, but I've done three-dimensional work now that are wall hangings primarily, but they're made from gathered vines, branches, and they're all black because it's part of an environmental statement.
Uh-huh.
So
Interesting.
that's been taking
That's
up
great.
a lot of my time.
The most important thing on the planet right now is saving our environment.
Absolutely.
And Frank, what about you?
I'm in a never-ending battle to fight AI.
Oh, I was gonna bring that up with Joy's work and the computer, yeah. That's with AI is just mind-boggling, that the pieces they've done on it in 60 minutes, just, because we learn in a linear way, and AI just keeps overwriting their programs, and they can learn in a half a second what it takes us 40 years.
It's absolutely amazing, but just because it's amazing doesn't mean it should exist.
No, well, it does exist, though, we've got to control it.
Yes, yeah, I think it's got to.
I don't know. In the wrong hands, how do we control that?
Right, but anyway,
But anyway.
as far as with art, I try to reinvent myself every year or every 6 months,
Great.
Like the spring.
Yeah.
just to do I don't like to paint in my comfort zone.
Uh-huh.
I have a lot of people, they find a niche and that's their thing, and I respect that very much. I've yet to find a niche that I didn't want to break away from,
Okay.
so.
Well, we're running out of time. So everyone, come to ArtGroove, April 20th. Opens at 10 in the morning, but the party is at,
Starts at 6.
starts at 6, goes as long as we keep dancing.
That's
Somehow
right.
there always winds up being food there, although we never are sure, but someone always
Sometimes people just bring
surprises us
something,
with
but it's not.
food, but there's
Although
always,
this year we might have a little
snacks and-
surprise for Miss Joyce here, but you're gonna have to come and find out what
is it
that's
your
gonna be.
birthday? Uh-oh, she's not telling. Anyway, thank you for joining us at the ladies' room, the ladies and men's room. And so the idea was to give yourself lots of room for love, room for fun, room to grow,
Grow
and
and room to
glow.
glow.
And dance and express yourself creatively.
Absolutely.
We all need that. Thank you so much. See you next week.